Well, hey there, howdy, folks. It's Doug again. I know I just made a video today, and but I had an adventure, and I have to tell you about this. I'm in St. Ignace, Michigan. I'm not sure what county that is. Um, I have court tomorrow in Houghton, Michigan. I'll get to this later. This might be a longer video, so just bear with me here. I don't know if you know this, but today on April 15th in northern Michigan, we have a blizzard. And I'm not just talking about your everyday, average, normal, like snow everywhere blizzard. I'm talking about hail, snow, rain, freezing rain. Rain was so freezing that I had to have my windshield wipers on because the rain would freeze when it hit my windshield. So this video is called Doug Saves the Mackinac Bridge. Like I said, I have court tomorrow. This has been a long time coming. I'm going to give you a little bit of history on this. I tried to buy a house from my cousin and her husband. They have a duplex, which they tore the wall down, but it was still two addresses. So I was going to buy one half of this duplex. All right? This is 2 years in the making. I got a bunch of money, and I wanted to buy a house. Anyways, I did a bunch of work for these people because they're related, and I have a signed contract, a 2-page contract, notarized by the bank. Everybody's signature on it. And yeah, 3 days after I gave them $5,000, which is a lot of money to me, I was out of my butt. And so that really hurt. 2 days before Thanksgiving, I give them money. 3 days later, 2 days before Thanksgiving, I'm out of my butt. Okay? And the history is, I smoked a cigarette in the basement. There's like a hallway, and I opened the door, and it was in Houghton, Michigan. And I was like halfway out the door. Anyways, they smelled the smoke in the house. Okay. I didn't like that very much. Okay? Well, the contract that they wrote has no stipulation about no smoking in the house. They made it clear that they do not like me to smoke in the house, which I abided. But because it was a freaking snowstorm at the time, and I didn't want to it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Anyways, they got really mad. But there's no stipulation in this contract about no smoking in the house. But there is a stipulation about no eviction policy and no fighting policy. We had an agreement that we would not argue and fight like wild people. Okay, so we all agree to this. All right, I messed up. That's fine, but I don't give someone $5,000 to be freaking homeless 3 days later. That ain't just gonna happen. Okay, so look at all this paperwork I have. Not even kidding you, dude. I'm gonna tell the judge, like in jest, if he's cool, and be like, I hope you planted like several trees in the backyard because you're gonna need them. Like courts don't think email is a thing. Like it's not the 21st century, and I can't use video conference chat. I don't know. Maybe they should catch up on the times here in Michigan. So I gotta drive, and this is 2 years in the making because his brother, my cousin's husband, his brother, who I also did work for, and I know slightly well, is their lawyer. So it's messed up, and so for 2 years they've delayed this. And in April of Michigan this year, 2018, there's a freaking crazy blizzard, and I have to drive from Grayling, Michigan, to Houghton, Michigan, which is a haul, right? My mom and dad do not want me to go. Okay, I understand that. I don't want to go either. You think I wouldn't like it to be freaking sunny shine outside and a nice, clear, no traffic, everything's fucking kosher situation? Absolutely. But do you think I'm not going to show up to court tomorrow? If anything besides divine intervention, and trust me, this blizzard is like a sign that maybe whatever higher deity does not want me to go there. But I put on my big boy pants and I drove through a frickin' blizzard. And I tell you what, it was probably one of the more difficult procedures I've ever managed to accomplish in my entire existence in this 34 years of me being here on this planet. One time I drove through Ohio, and it was a tsunami, and there were concrete blockers on each side of the road, and it is just a monster storm. And I'm driving, and you don't have like 4 inches on either side of your car. Anyways, I made it through that. But that was what I just did today was on par with what I did then. And I made it. And I had to wait 20 minutes at the bridge. So Doug saves the Mackinac Bridge. It is a lovely, lovely sight to see. I couldn't see a shit going over that bridge today because by the time I got here, it had just gotten dark. And it was, I mean, wind and rain and everything. And you look on the map and you see Lake Michigan, and it is big, you know, but the grandness of it when you cross it, and I've crossed the bridge before during daytime, hundreds of times, maybe not hundreds, but a lot. But today I didn't get to see the lake, and I barely got to see the edge of the bridge. Luckily it held through, and I made it. I'm in St. Ignace now, so good for me. I'm proud of myself. I wanted to go over a few driving tips in the snow. If you ever get caught in like a freaking blizzard like it is outside right now, few tips. You don't want to have your high beams on because just like in a mist or in a fog, the water molecules in the air will reflect the light from your car. So you want to have your low beams on because you do need light, but you don't want to have your high beams on because it's not going to be as effective. There's one tip. Another tip. Don't hit your brakes. Okay, you can tap your brakes ever so gently, but if you anticipate that you will need to slow down, just let off the gas and drift through the snow. Okay, and it does take, you know, you get caught in that snow will pull you. Okay, so right on. Okay, I am well, it was talking about white knuckle driving, really. Anywho, wish me luck because I'm only halfway through my journey. I've got another 5 hours to go through this stuff in northern upper peninsula Michigan, so I'm anticipating it'll be as difficult. But court isn't until 2:30, so what I plan on doing is leaving very early and then just getting there on time. And I'm honestly considering just on the way back, going through the west side, going down Wisconsin, coming back up through Indiana, Illinois, into Michigan. It is a longer journey, and I do obviously have a soft spot in my heart for the Great Bridge, or the Mackinac Bridge. It makes you wonder why Michigan has a peninsula and why the Upper Peninsula isn't its own state or part of Wisconsin, why we need a bridge to get to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Has really and honestly never made all that much sense to me. So I just took a very well-deserved hot shower and making this video because, yeah, posterity. I accomplished something. I went on an adventure. My mom and dad were like practically begging me not to come, but look at what I've endured. Look at what I've endured here. This is unreal. And I'm not just going to let them get away with it. I'm not just going to let them. It isn't even about the money, which is a lot. I bought a beautiful Wii U with about 15 games because I'm a game designer and I love to play games. Never even got to play it once. Never even got to play it once. One time, and I have the receipt, all that. I am so angry. Anyways, let me tell you the rest of this story. So I smoked a cigarette out in the back, underneath the fucking house, through a hallway, outside, hanging my head out the door, blowing smoke outside. And one little freaking puff of fucking tobacco smoke comes into their house. And this guy, not even 15 minutes later, is in my face, knocking on my door. Doesn't even knock. He knocked on the door this time. But it's a long story. And when I opened that door, he was in my face, nose to nose, yelling at me so hard that his spit was coming onto my face. And I'll tell you this in confidence. I know it's on the internet, but this has only happened to me one other time in my life. And I won't go into that story, but I saw red. Everything went black and red. Okay? And I made the right decision because if I had made a different choice, I'd have been having probably a very different conversation with this judge. And I'm proud of myself for that also, because I held back. Okay? And then I had to stay there because I didn't have a vehicle at the time. So they would just bust in my room, yell at me, scream at me, fucking slam the door, shut the door, yell at me through the wall. Um, it was unreal. It was, and like I said, there's not a no smoking policy in our contract. However, there is a no fighting policy and a no eviction policy. Well, guess what? I'm out of my ass after having made that decision to not retaliate at the time. Kept my cool, and I'm proud of myself. I'm going to tell the judge that, and I hope he takes that into consideration because I think he should, and I think it's justice. So, with that being said, I wish I would have brought my Xbox, but I do have my Game Boy here, and I'm gonna leave rather till really early in the morning, probably after the sun comes up. And so, wish me luck again. Doug saves the Mackinac Bridge. It is a wonderful thing if you ever do get to see it. I think once a year they have like 1,000 VW Beetle bugs cross that bridge. So, I've never seen that personally, but it does happen. It's like an event up there. Um, I think they also have tractors. Tractors go over that. So 11:11. I am going to end this video now. I do appreciate it if you do listen to this. Very frustrating, and I'm very proud of myself. And I think I made a few right decisions here. So with that being said, if you are listening, I do appreciate that, and you are the resistance. So keep that in mind, and I hope it makes you feel better. With that being said, I do.